fingers interlocked like a beautiful zipper of prayer. One time.
A beautiful zipper. Like, how many beautiful zippers have you seen? Like, shout out to YK, like what the largest manufacturer of zippers out there. It's like, yo, check out that zipper. It's made out of emeralds, man. Tight.
Beautiful zipper. The fuck does that mean?
And today's piece comes from Sarah K. With the poem Hands off of the revolutionary show
Bless.
Deaf Poetry.
Hey, and this is like late Deaf Poetry if Sarah K's on, right? Like,
yeah.
This is super late in it. Like season 6 or
I remember I used to watch this.
Hell yeah, we all did. That's why I'm here, dude.
Yeah.
From New York, please give a warm Deaf Poetry welcome to 18-year-old Sarah K.
18. Oh.
Yeah, right? 'Cause that's what I'm saying. This had to be like late in Deaf Poetry, but fairly early in Sarah K.
People used to tell me that I had beautiful hands, told me so often, in fact, that one day I started to believe them, until I asked my photographer father, hey, Daddy, could I be a hand model? To which he said, no way. I don't remember the reason he gave me, and I would have been upset, but there were far too many stuffed animals to hold, too many homework assignments to write, too many boys to wave at, too many years to grow. We used to have a game, my dad and I, about holding hands, because we held hands everywhere.
Okay, the poem's called Hands, right? Mm-hmm. She's using her hands a shitload at the beginning.
Entire time.
Yeah, but one thing that she always does in her performances, I feel like, is she's very organic and fluid with her motions. They don't seem contrived. They don't seem contrived.
Shout out to all our audio-only podcast listeners.
Yeah, if you can't see
any of this, you guys are missing out.
You have to just trust us. Just trust us.
Check out the lens flare. Boom. She's shooting marshmallows out of her eyeballs.
Was that lightsaber?
Goddamn.
But everything she does, though, it has a purpose, and but again, it always seems very organic, and like this is just me telling a story or giving you a poem or whatever it is. Oh, I went too far.
Yeah, I brought it back, but
we went back twice.
People used to tell me that I had beautiful hands.
I kind of fucks with that hair, but kind of don't.
In fact, that one day I started to believe them.
Like her hair is
until I asked my photographer father, hey, Daddy, could I be a hand model? To which he said, no way. I don't remember the reason he gave me, and I would have been upset, but there were far too many stuffed animals to hold, too many homework assignments to write, too many boys to wave at, too many years to grow.
But it seems like that, but this is all planned, you know.
Remember the reason he gave me, and I would have been upset, but there were far too many stuffed animals to hold, too many homework assignments to write, too many boys to wave at, too many years to grow. We used to have a game, my dad and I, about holding hands, because we held hands everywhere, and every time either he or I would whisper a great big number to the other, pretending that we were keeping track of how many times we had held hands, that we were sure this one had to be 8,002,753. Hands learn more than minds do. Hands learn how to hold other hands, how to grip pencils and mold poetry, how to tickle pianos and dribble a basketball and grip the handles of a bicycle, how to hold old people and touch babies. I love hands like I love people.
All right, like that was dope. I get it. Like she's doing all this hand shit, but I don't know why that bicycle line just killed me. I just was over it. I was over it at that point.
I feel some type of way about like hands touching old people and babies. I'm like, all right, touching them how?
I think she just means fragility, like being fragile with them.
Oh, look at this.
Maybe I'm sensitive. Look,
we got Shalane like on wave with this, yo.
I get it. I'm just saying it's too much.
No, the bicycle she was reaching, definitely.
Yeah, it's just too much. Like, it's not, and I get it, like gripping the bicycle, like joy, maybe. I don't know what she's trying to say there, but it's also like, why are you saying that though? You could have just
everything else made us feel something, and the bicycle was like,
and the bicycle motion. It's never a flattering like
kill the high.
Yeah.
Compasses with which we navigate our way through life. Some people read palms to tell your future, but I read hands to tell your past. Each scar marks a story worth telling. Each calloused palm, each cracked knuckle is a missed punch or years in a factory. Now, I've seen Middle Eastern hands clenched in Middle Eastern fists, pounding against each other like war drums. Each country sees their fists as warriors and others as enemies, even if fists alone are only hands. But this is not about politics. No, hands are not about politics. This is a poem about love and fingers interlocked like a beautiful zipper of prayer. One time,
a beautiful zipper. Like, how many beautiful zippers have you seen? Like, shout out to YK, like what the largest manufacturer of zippers out there. It's like, yo, check out that zipper. It's made out of emeralds, man. Tight.
It depends. Okay, one thing
zipper of prayer.
She's using like very simple metaphors and very like the war drum beating, the fist, this and that. Absolutely, this is like a very easy to understand poem. It's very effective in what it's trying to convey, and I think that that's just another one. Like it's there. It's like one of the
I think she meant
metaphors
sacred,
that's
like-
right there in your
like
front of your face.
Beautiful zipper of prayer. I'm like, it's a sacred thing. It's a sacred gesture.
All right, so like her hand gestures sell that, but if you were listening to that
No,
only,
I feel you.
Oh, you
Absolutely.
didn't see it. Okay, yeah.
Well, and in my mind, again, we're getting like these soft metaphors to effectively convey an idea, right? And beautiful zipper of prayer is not a simple metaphor.
It's not.
It's reaching a little bit even in that.
Wait,
And
hold on.
like
I
you
get it
said-
though. I get it because like a zipper brings together two sides,
exactly.
and then the unity of the zipper head is the prayer.
But
So
the
boom,
one thing
got
that
you.
the one way that it is,
That's just trash.
and you said it best at the very beginning of all of this. The real question, the real indictment is beautiful zipper. The fuck does that mean? What the fuck does that ever mean?
Hands. But this is not about politics. No, hands are not about politics. This is a poem about love and fingers. Fingers interlocked like a beautiful zipper of prayer.
Tight.
One time, I grabbed my dad's hand so that our fingers
you could've said
interlocked
anything else,
perfectly,
it
but
would've been better.
he changed positions, saying, no, that handhold is for your mom. Kids high five, but grown up, we learn how to shake hands. You need a firm handshake, but don't hold on too tight, but don't let go too soon, but don't hold down for too long. But hands are not
Yeah,
about
adorable.
politics.
Like,
When
so
did it become
effective
so
and, like,
complicated?
such a good
I always thought
performance.
it's simple. The other day, my dad looked at my hands as if seeing them for the first time, and with laughter behind his eyelids, with all the seriousness a man of his humor could muster, he said, you know, you've got nice hands. You could have been a hand model. And before the laughter can escape me, I shake my head at him and squeeze his hand. 8,002,754.
And like such a fucking hard landing for like such a decent poem. Like it's not a crazy home run poem in like the sense of metaphor or rhyme scheme or
Right,
technique.
right.
It's very effective. It does what it does. It's got good metaphor. It's got like it's understandable completely.
Because as we often discuss about stage poetry versus page poetry, is that on page you can reread as many times as you want until you get the line. While on stage, like audience member cannot rewind time to re-listen to the
try to
performer.
understand it.
So
Yeah,
so a good and effective slam poem is consumable right then and there, which this very much is. Like
That
I say,
is-
very
that is a
very simple, effective, like a lot of straight talk, not anything too crazy, but also at the same time, nothing too technically fun either.
Yeah, not really, but effective, right? Like it's
Right.
not multisyllabic. It's not super rhymey, but it's very effective. Beautiful zipper.
That's a beautiful way to put it, because like now that I'm thinking of my writing, like I have those poems that are good but I've never made that separation. Like I've always been like, okay, yeah, you know, what do I want to perform or whatever, but that's true. Some stuff should be written for stage and some stuff should be written just if you just want to write
Absolutely.
poetry.
So Shalane, we give every piece here on the 2-piece combo a little poetry score. So we use a slam score. It's 1 through 10 with decimal points. I'm going to jump into it.
All right.
Because
your suggestion, by the way.
It is my suggestion. One, beautiful zipper. Could have been better. Sturdy zipper, concise zipper, like accurate zipper. Like she could have said a lot of different things that would have inspired something.
Yeah.
Or not zipper. But if you're going to use zipper, like beautiful zipper, because it's prayer, I get like what you're saying, but it was meh. The bicycle shit I wasn't crazy about. But for that landing, for this being a poem that like you could share universally, you can understand this poem if you're 9 years old or you're on your deathbed.
Right.
And that is like a magical, special thing. To be able to do that as a writer, to write with like that kind of brevity and wisdom and be 18, let's go.
Yeah.
Like to be 18.
That's some young talent right there.
That is,
But question
And it
is
is young talent though, right? It is what you would expect from a really good young writer. This isn't like some crazy verbose like technical thing. This is like what you would expect from young talent. All that said, I think like this does feel like an almost finished draft.
What?
Like it feels like if I don't know, like if this was mine, I feel like
first round, right? So round one.
This would be I performed it 3 or 4 times. I'm on my final draft. That's what it feels like to me.
Okay.
Because I would have cut the bicycle line. Because I would have cut the zipper line. Because you only need one audience reaction to be like, did she just say beautiful zipper? You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. So that said, shouts out to young Sarah K, the God. I'm gonna come in pretty strong. First round, I'm obviously gonna give this something super strong. So I'm gonna take that away from it, and I'm gonna give this like a good 8.2.
Wow, okay.
I'm gonna say an 8.2. I'm gonna say like I see this first or second round in any slam. I'm gonna give this like an 8, an 8.2.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a little higher, but certainly not lower.
So what prevents it from reaching the 9s?
Really, it's the landing is the most poetic part of the piece. That whole part with like her dad, it's a very nice setup. It's a very nice ending, and it's super effective. But the middle doesn't lend a whole lot to that. It's just talk about hands.
All right.
We're not talking about like this. I thought she was going to tell us a story, and instead she went into like this kind of like
it's a hand association scheme kind of thing. It's like, yo, let me pull out all my punchlines about hands. Without having to rhyme tight.
And then theme it all together on the beginning and the end.
Exactly. I feel like in the middle, instead of beautiful zipper, she could have thrown in some shit about dad again, and then it would have been a little bit stronger.
Even more thematic.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with an 8.2.
All right, Shalane, what you got on this?
So I loved the end, and I did get goosebumps like right before she walked off.
Yeah.
That last line. And even when she was talking about like a little bit before the last line too. So like you talk about the landing. I feel like a lot of what we go and see spoken poetry for is for the feels. You feel me?
Word.
And so that I felt that. And I'm also just a feeler. But so because of that, and also like I don't know if she was confident in the middle or whatever, but she really did do a good job. She was made sure that, okay, I'm going to bring it in this way, and then they're going to understand me at the end. So I feel like she was conscious of that. But when we do put it on that scheme of like separating stuff that you're supposed to perform and stuff that you're supposed to write, those things that you're talking about, like that's hard to get in the moment, you feel me, that we had to pause and rewind and spend time with, I feel like because of that, it'll probably be like an 8.7 because of the end, 8.7 and 8.8 because I did feel that.
Because of the beautiful zipper, because of that good landing still.
Honestly, I was like just being really hard about like the beautiful. Like, I just don't like that wording. I just think that's
distracted.
Whack. It's distracting, but at the same time, I very much appreciate that. I was able to understand every word she said, like all throughout. I was able to keep up with her, and oftentimes. In slam, how like we're trying to word swag and like show our technical flair, but sometimes we get lost in that. And what you say, it's a lot of like I don't want to say cute, but because that might be disempowering to how dope like it all tied together. But it kind of is like just like visually. Like it's cute,
like adorable, like lighthearted stuff. Yeah,
lighthearted stuff. And that's what I miss in a lot of spoken word stuff, like just lighthearted stuff, as opposed to this like really sticky, grating kind of like tierce poetry. It was all right,
this piece is almost comforting.
Let me punch you in the face with these facts about how I got something that happened to me as a child.
Word.
Like this was like, me and my dad, we held hands like 8 million times, tight. I really fuck with that. And as a round one piece, I would probably give him like a 9 solid.
Really?
Yeah,
because trying to get it through.
Because also like stylistically, right? Like I really want to see someone who brings like with her style of poetry and like just like that lighthearted, positive message. Like, okay, like how are you gonna compete against Dennis Smith in round 3 when he brings out like them tearjerker pieces? It's like, yo, let's go. But like stylistically as a novelty, but even outside of that, just like being able to understand exactly what she says, like off rip, I give it a 9.
Word. And that actually works against her a little bit because we're sitting there being like, did she say zipper? But
yeah, and at the same time, it's
only because we're listening so intently and knowingly the whole
annotate
time
in the poem
that we're able to be like, beautiful zipper. In that moment, we critically like thought about that because we're doing it with her.
Because the thing about like wordplay and shit is that it's a gamble. If somebody like if you land like some really cryptic wordplay that people understand, that hits hard. Like, yo, what? But then at the same time, if you go over heads, it's like, what was that? And then now you got people stuck on the line. It's like, and now they're not listening
experiencing
to what you're
the rest of your message.
Right. It's a big gamble each and every time you pull out that wordplay. But when it hits, it fucking hits. And that's why I love like word association schemes and all that shit.